Okay, welcome to the algorithm pro football analysis. We're coming up on a wild card weekend. Previous week finished up 10-6. Every week there are some games that just seem to slip away that you just kind of wish went a little bit differently, but overall still a pretty good week. So let's get right into it. So uh, no particular order here, but just going through the Ravens versus the Bengals. And so Cincinnati is favored by 6.5. What I have not seen is whether or not Lamar Jackson is going to be playing uh, this weekend. Uh, I've heard conflicting reports. But with that, I'm going to take Cincinnati. And so I'll point out a couple things. So I added a feature here where it's going to add some colors. So the yellow here means that it is a correlation that says that it should be that both teams overperform, and that's based upon that -1, the minus 84. Um, uh, uh, it, Realistically speaking, that -1 is next to zero. I should probably change the algorithm a little bit. It really should be that because the algorithm has really um, underestimated the performance of the Bengals, whereas it's been pretty much right on spot. It's only been off by 1 point in the estimation of the Ravens. And so with that, I'm using this particular Bayesian outcome. So it's really saying that overall, uh, uh, this would otherwise be a close game with a slight edge towards the Baltimore Ravens. However, due to the fact that uh, the algorithm has underestimated the ability with which um, uh, uh, Cincinnati has performed, when you take that in consideration, is thereby saying that uh, Cincinnati should be favored to win by quite a bit more than that. Get into the run pass charts, and so uh, again, Lamar Jackson can very well upset all this if he decides to play. But that notwithstanding, the algorithm kind of takes some of that into consideration, albeit he's been out for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I think. Um, uh, uh, Joe Burrow is going to light it up. They've been lighting it up. They don't have that nice balanced run pass attack that you see from the uh, the Ravens, but they make up for it a lot. That's going to come in big, and then when you come over here, you can really see that in that explosiveness over here. Doesn't come without a cost. You can certainly see that they're going to have some more interceptions here, but that notwithstanding, uh, Cincinnati's play has particularly down the stretch has been really strong, and they've been good in getting better. All right, the next game, Dallas versus Tampa Bay. Dallas favored by 3. Realistically speaking, so quite frankly, Tampa Bay stinks. They just do. They have Tom Brady. That's about it. And he's also demonstrated that they can absolutely pull a team through. Dallas overall is a strong team. They've also shown that they have every propensity to be able to blow a football game that they should otherwise be able to win. Uh, with that, who knows whether or not this last pathetic performance against the Commanders was uh, just apathy or just truly indicative of who they are. We know that Tampa Bay had a nice lead on Atlanta and then throttled back by pulling out Tom Brady. With that, when you look at the Bayesian adjustment, uh, is it shows that the algorithm has been underestimating Dallas, and it has been pretty much right on spot with Tampa Bay. I look at these potential scores up here, and I think, yeah, that sounds about right. I can see Tampa Bay being held to under 20 points, and I can see Dallas putting up 30 plus points. That's going to require better play by Dak Prescott. We'll see how that goes. And again, Tom Brady has demonstrated that he's absolutely able to take a game and win it for them. Um, but Dak Prescott has certainly been has shown flashes of being really good, and they've got a really all-around running game, as it shows there. Uh, Again, the one thing I would point out is look at this number here for Dak Prescott and the interceptions. You can just see these upper numbers here, and you're just like, wow. And then you think, really, Dak Prescott throwing 6 interceptions? Yeah, I can see that. And you're just not going to win with that. But on the other hand, you look at this explosiveness down here for Dallas versus that of Tampa Bay, and you say to yourself, well, if Dak is limited to one interception, and if the running backs or receivers otherwise can hold on to the ball, and we start seeing that explosiveness, yeah, we should be seeing a 10 point. A lot of ifs there, uh, but that notwithstanding, um, uh, uh, we'll see what team shows up. I don't think Dallas is going to be a Super Bowl winning team this year, but again, Tampa Bay is just not a good team either. Let me go back here. So just look at some of these numbers here. They've got a strong offensive rushing game. Their passing game's been getting better. They've got some strong defensive numbers. Compare that with just some of the overall numbers over here with the Chargers. Kind of like, huh. Then want to go over here. Uh, 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 Justin Herbert has just phenomenal capability to sometime throttle the opponent, but um, I don't think that they're well rounded enough to really pull that out. We'll see. Jacksonville's got that nice balance and with a nice upside in their passing game, which has been getting better. And that's what you see in their record. That's what you see with just some of the other trends as well. You see the opposite from the Chargers. All right, Buffalo versus Miami. All right, this one should be a boring game. We'll see how this works out, but it should be a boring game. Um, and the reason why I say that is thus far it sounds as though Tua is not playing. And this is my prediction if Tua does not play. Buffalo should win handily by more than 10 points, which is what the point spread is there, 10.5. If Tua does play, it should be a close game. I don't really know what it's going to be. I would still think that either way, Buffalo should win if Tua plays, but it should be a close game with the adjustment. And then when you go through and look at the run pass charts, the big thing, both of these teams have a lot of explosion. I think Miami is the most explosive team in football, but thus far they're on their like what their fourth string quarterback. It's really hard to win that way. In their last game, I think they won by 5 points. I think they scored 11 points. You're not beating Buffalo Bills with if you can only put up 11 points on the New York Jets. All right. Giants versus the Vikings. Minnesota is favored by 3 points, and this is a difficult one. So the model says that it's pretty even, unadjusted. If I adjust it, it still says that uh, that Minnesota should win by about 2.5. And then when you go down here and you look uh, when New York played Minnesota, New York lost by 3 points. So guess what? The models are showing that about a 3 point spread is very called for, very reasonable. Um, and so it's really difficult when you're looking at the numbers and saying, yeah, sure, it's 3 point. What side of that do you go? Uh, uh, and when history has told us what's going on, and in both of these cases, the model says that uh, it has underestimated how well they perform. That's the reason why I use this particular one here. But again, both of these are showing that it should be closer than a 3 point game, and so I'm going to go ahead and the model that one. And then when you go to the run pass charts, I'm not really sure I see a whole lot here, other than the fact that you definitely see some of the explosive capability over here from Minnesota um, as compared to the Giants. But then when you come over here, you see a lot stronger running game for the Giants and also controlling the ball. And as oftentimes happens, whichever team can control the ball, and protect the quarterback will probably win. Generally speaking, my rule of thumb is if it's a big game and Kirk Cousins is the quarterback, it's probably not a good bet. Okay. Next, we've got San Francisco versus Seattle. Seattle's just been on a. I'm sorry, San Francisco's just been on a tear, and they've just been getting better since they got Christian McCaffrey. The line is San Francisco at 10 points. So then when I look at this, the correlated point spread has them by 6.5 points. And then the adjusted has them by 5.5 points. So again, these are both using correlated point spreads, is what that number is derived from. But then when you go over here and you look at just the raw numbers, as you see about an 8 point spread, just in terms of how that rolls. Um, Generally speaking, when I see the two teams, the eye test tells me that San Francisco is the real deal, and Seattle has been um, able to execute very well at times, but I don't think that they're going to be able to have the muscle to really be able to challenge San Francisco whatsoever. Then we go to the run pass chart. You look at this and you just look at some of this upper numbers up here. Brock Purdy seems to be getting better. He's definitely not bad for a third string quarterback. He's going to be playing next year somewhere. They got a fantastic running game, and I believe that they're also getting back Deebo Samuels. So, and then they just got Joey Bosa back as well. So San Francisco is good and has been getting better. And if I'm Seattle, that's not a team that I really want to play like that. And that concludes this week with the algorithm. I hope everyone does well.